Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Ashton Jackson, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how the tight end 2 spot really needs to step up because there's a major drop-off between Jake Ferguson and the rest of the tight ends, and I do feel like and know that Dak Prescott loves throwing to his tight ends, and I feel like since we're going to be such a pass-centric team, it makes sense that if we can add any more depth to our passing game, we can be a lot better of a team, understanding that our run game and our running back room is beyond bad in my opinion. You know, a lot of sites like PFF has us as the 32nd ranked running back room in the league, and there's only 32 teams in the league, so we're the worst running back room in the league, and I believe that. I don't believe we have anybody that can come out and really be a game changer for us. So, but I do believe that if we come out in 12 personnel a lot more, I feel like we can do a multitude of things, and I will talk about that after the intro. So again, our tight end 2 spot is one of the biggest things that I feel like we need to be talking about just a little bit more within the Cowboys community. I already know that we've done it before. We've touched on it before a lot. We're talking about, right now, wide receiver 3. Who is that going to be between Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Tolbert, Kavontae Turpin, Jalen Brooks? So we have like a 4-way tie of who can possibly be your third wide receiver. Obviously, we're going to have a new reworked offensive line again. We're having a new rookie starting in at left tackle with Tyler Guyton. And then we have a new center in Brock Hoffman. Cooper Beebe is also going to be battling for that spot. So I know that's another spot that the Dallas Cowboys are going to be eyeing in training camp. I know running back isn't that great right now, but I believe we are going to make a trade or some sort of free agency signing to pick up back. But if we don't, I don't have a whole lot of confidence in this running back room. But that's why I feel like since we're going to be such a team that throws 40 to 45 times a game, I feel like it is imperative that we can get another tight end in here that can bring out that 12 personnel. I feel like it will be a lot easier on Dak because Dak will be able to dictate coverages and know what people are in. Because when you're in a 12 personnel, which is one back and then 2 tight ends, you're going to have to give something up, because if you're able to run the ball effectively out of 12 personnel, and the ways you can probably run it effectively is like out of, trap, misdirection, counter, sweeps, inside zone, read options, power. You can do a lot of different things out of 12 personnel in terms of just run games and run scheme out of 12 personnel. You can go under center in 12 personnel. You can sit back in the shotgun if you want in 12 personnel. Passing wise, you'll have CeeDee Lamb, you'll have Brandon Cooks, you'll have Ferguson out there. So you'll have your 3 most targeted weapons out there. And then if a guy like your second tight end, if that is a Luke Schoonmaker, which I'm kind of rooting for to be, again, I don't really care who steps up. I just need somebody to step up because I know that we're going to be throwing the ball a lot this year. And again, it's very imperative that somebody steps up. And the reason why I'm even rooting for Luke Schoonmaker is because when's the last time a second-round pick worked outside of, I talked about a lot on this channel, Trayvon Diggs and DeMarcus Lawrence? Outside of those two, who in your second round has really stepped up? And that includes Sam Williams. We're expecting him to step up this year as well, right? But again, John Stevens Jr. was a guy that clearly Stephen Jones I don't really respect his football opinion at all. But when he was talking about how John Stevens Jr. was going to make this roster, I completely believed him. When he said that in the pre-draft presser 3 months ago, I'm sorry, I fully believed him. I was like, yeah, he was definitely going to make the roster, and if he was healthy, he was more than likely going to be our tight end 2 for the year. At worst case scenario, tight end 3, but for sure tight end 2, because I think he would have been a lot better, and he was a lot smoother of a pass catcher than Luke Schoonmaker was. Again, Luke Schoonmaker is a 6'5", 6'6" tight end. He is up there in age. He's like 26, 27, only in his second year in the league, but we already knew that was a problem, and that was going to be a bit of a talking point when we drafted him in the 2023 draft, and he was 25, 26 years old. But then not only that, he missed training camp his rookie year, which led him to a late start. And then you also got to think about his second year as well. Coming into his second year, he's hurt as well, and we don't know if he's going to be ready for training camp. He has to be ready for training camp, because if Schoonmaker misses a week of training camp, that's tight end 2 reps that John Stevens Jr. is going to see a lot of increased role at that. So if John Stevens, if he's able just to bring back 60-70% of what he was last year in preseason, and he brings that over, I feel like he's going to make the roster again. Peyton Hendershot, I feel like he's the odd man out. I believe he's going to get cut. Practice squad type of dude. I don't think he's really going to make the roster. Beverin Spanford, we got him out of Minnesota. He was a high prioritized UDFA star, undrafted free agency. That means we throw a lot of money at him after the draft had ended, and we were looking more players just to add to the roster. Training camp bodies, things of that nature. We threw a ton of money at a guy like a Beverin Spanford, and with him, he will be a perfect dude in 12 personnel because he can run block really well and he can go out there and pass catch. Again, more the merrier really for us at tight end. If Beverin Spanford can give you a look at 12 personnel, and there isn't going to be much of a drop off between him and John Stevens when we do run a lot of 12 personnel, I feel like that's going to be really great. Again, the reason why I feel like 12 personnel again is another great sort of ordeal and a sort of formation. If you just hear Tom Brady talk about it before, that second tight end that was there that played next to Rob Gronkowski, we all know his name. He played at Florida, and he was a really great tight end. He just had a lot of mental issues, right? But when they were running a lot of 12 personnel, when I grew up watching them, they were unbeatable because it was tough to watch. It was tough to see because they were able to run out of the backfield. They were able to throw to Wes Walker, Danny Amendola, and then you had the second tight end, and then you had Rob Gronkowski. So you had so many things that they were able to do in New England when they had a 12 personnel. They were able to run the ball. They were able to throw the ball. They were able to dictate coverages because you weren't going to be able to only put 7 people in a box. If you're running in a normal 4-3 nickel-based formation defense, you're not going to be able to really stop the run with only 7. So if you want to drop that safety down and add 8 to the box to stop the run, now you're going to get one-on-one on the outside, and you can get one-on-one coverages between your 2 wide receivers. You're going to have a safety on the tight end, and the way these tight ends are moving nowadays, some of these safeties can't even keep up with some of these tight ends. I know you got Brian Branch, you got some of the Chauncey Gardner-Johnsons, Kyle Hamiltons, you got some of the really elite safeties out there that can keep up with some of these tight ends. But again, some of the tight ends are just the safeties I just named. There isn't a whole lot of those in the league. So I think we have a hell of a dude in Jake Ferguson. I think he's going to extend this year in that top 5 conversation. When we talk about Kittle, Kelsey, Andrews, Njoku, I think you can throw in Ferguson. He just needs to be targeted a lot more. And once he's targeted a lot more, I feel like he's going to get the recognition that he deserves. I feel like he will eclipse 1,000 yards this year. I feel like that's what he's going to do. Again, tight end 2 is very imperative. I understand that running back is a question mark. Offensive line, question mark. Wide receiver 3, question mark. We have a bunch of question marks on this offense. But if we can figure out this tight end 2 situation, and John Stevens Jr. is your tight end 2, or Brevin is your tight end 2, and they're able to run block really well, but they can go out there and catch a pass and run the seam because that's what Dak Prescott loves throwing, I feel like we're going to be a hell of a lot of a better and a more of an explosive offense. If you look at 2021 before Blake Jarwin had went down, we were one of the balanced teams in the league. We were able to run the ball and throw the ball effectively. You saw our offense tailed off towards the tail end of that to run a lot out of 12 personnel or pass out of 12 personnel. It got a little bit tricky for us down the line. So, again, I feel like the Dallas Cowboys can utilize the 12 personnel system. I feel like we'll be a lot better of an offense, and I feel like that can help out our running back room a lot too. I feel like that can help out your offensive line because you can have some tight ends block, chip a defensive end, go out for a route. I believe we can do that a lot too. So let's find out what we do. But tight end 2 is going to be very imperative because if we can have a consistent, healthy number 2 that can run block and pass catch, I believe we can do something different this year. So that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.